Hi guys, Ryan here. Hi guys, Ryan here. Hi guys, it's your mate, £16.61, Ryan here. Hope finds you all well. Um, Excuse me a minute. Yeah, hope find you all well. Um, I've now got hope find you all well. Just so I've now got update 3 on my airfix. One second scale Eurofighter Typhoon out of the RF centenary gift set. Um, now I've got update 3 for you guys on the typhoon out the RF gift set. But before I proceed with the update, usual thing, just want to give a huge shout out to Emily Houghton and Adam of Airfix and Hobby Hobbies respectively for sending this kit out to me for free, although they've not paid me what to say or do. So my opinions on the kit are strictly my own. My opinions on the kit are strictly my own. Are strictly my own. And then the other thing I want to say is huge shout out to my godfather for getting in touch with Airfix and Hobby Hobbies to arrange all this. And yeah, enable them to recognise my talent and kit out for said kit along with Mustang and the B2C, which I've completed previously with for free. Um, and then obviously the only thing I just want to say is before I actually get on to this update 1 and update 2, this will be in 2 parts. So what I'll do is I'll show you, I'll show you, and then I'll film the second part, and then obviously I'll merge the two together to make one update, if that makes sense. So, since the last time you saw the typhoon, a lot has happened. Obviously, I've got the not only have I got obviously the last time you saw this, obviously I had got the canopy on, the rudder on, the nose cone, the canards, and obviously the canards and the wingtip pylons and the wingtip ECM pods. But now I've got the pirate sight, but I've now got the air intake box on. The air intake box on. The afterburner nozzles on, and of course you can probably see it hanging underneath the landing gear, the landing gear legs and the landing gear legs and the landing gear doors and the doors for the legs. And obviously I've got the rudder as well. And obviously I don't know if you can see this, but I've also rescribed completely the upper surface fuselage, the lower surface of the fuselage, the tail fin, and the rudder. Don't know how well that you're going to pick this out. Pick this out is probably not the word to use. Pick this out probably not the right word to use. I think the word I'm trying to say is I don't know how you're going to get this. See how well this is going to come up on camera. Fit wise, to be honest, I'm not going to lie. And this is not just, and this is not, and obviously fit wise, I did have a few fit issues. I did have quite a bit. There was quite a bit of a step. There was quite a bit of a step fitting the air intake box either side and underneath. So I've had to, as you can see, I've had to fill it and then sand it, fill it and sand it, and obviously where I've had to fill it and resand it. I've had to where I've had to fill where I've had to fill it and then resand it. I've also where I've had to fill and sand the mod. I've had to fill it and sand it and then get it, and obviously just get the sand and obviously get sand smooth the filler just so that it looks more how it should really. So I suppose what I'm trying to say. Look more how it should. So is what I'm trying to say. Ultimately, um, is what I'm trying to ultimately say. Um, and like I say, in fact, in terms of filling and sanding, I had to fill not just the intake box, but the join where obviously where the upper fuselage, the upper airframe, the upper fuselage section joins the lower fuselage section all the way down to the nose, all the way down to the nose cone, which does of course include either side of the canards. Um, the canards and these little wing and the winglets and this little aerodynamic guide vane winglet thing here, or it might be a step for the pilot. Thinking about it, pilot the ground, it might be a step for the pilot and the ground crew to get up to enable them to get up into the cockpit. I don't know, but yeah, and then of course the only other and then like I say, the only other area I had to fill was the engine doors because the engine door, was the engine area where the engines are, the engine area on the aircraft, because of course there was quite a big gap. There was quite a big gap on this aircraft on the aircraft, which there was quite a big gap on the aircraft, which did. I'm not gonna lie. There was a step. There was a step, a gap, a step, and a gap which I had to fill, which I had to fill. Quite a large gap on which on the upper fuselage half end up stepping out, so I had to fill that. Had to fill that as well, and then of course, and so I had to fill that. So yeah, but then of course I sanded after I filled that, I sanded it all back and sanded it all back, and then so we've pretty much got the fuselage looking. Well, we've got the airframe, shall I say, looking how it looks now. But like I say, this the whole but as I was, but going back to obviously, as I said, what I was about to say on the nose box on the main air intake box is this isn't just new to this. This isn't just a cop. This isn't just a problem to this kit. I know the I know the Revell kit. I know the Revel kit has the Revell F2 and FGR4. The Revell F2 forward slash FDR F2 FGR4 kit of the Typhoon has fit issues with the intake box. I know the Revel kit's got a lot more. The parts breakdown on the Revel kit's a lot more because you actually get full length intakes on that kit, whereas this one you only pretty much get the intake box and you don't get full length intakes on this per se. But yeah, other than that, other than those fit issues, other than those fit issues, I'm really happy with how it's gone together. I'm really happy with how it's gone together. To be honest, this kit has given me the chance to practice new skills. New skills such as filling, sanding, which are I know so, you know, our basic skills at the end, basic skills in the hobby at the end of the day. But up until, I suppose, up until now, I've never had a kit. I've never had a kit where I've never actually done. I suppose I've never had to build a kit where I've needed to actually put filler in, if you know what I mean. But considering this kit was molded, considering this model, considering this kit, this kit was first tooled in the 1990s as the Eurofighter, as the as the Euro as the Brit as the I think it was called the Euro English Advanced Prototype, something like Eurofighter EAP, BAE British Aerospace, British Aerospace EAP Euro something prototype, Euro aircraft Euro aircraft prototype, something like that, or the EF 2000 as it later became. Considering this kit was first molded in the 90s, unlike some other kits, it's not, you know, the molds of this kit have held up relatively well and not just completely disintegrated like other kits, namely a 1983 tooling of an aircraft, namely the 1983 tooling of the Vulcan, for example. But anyway, back to the Typhoon, because this is about the Typhoon and not the Vulcan. But yeah, so that's how the Typhoon is looking for the moment in this part of the update. So obviously, as I said, obviously I'm going to be doing this in update parts. So part 2 of this update, you'll get, obviously what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go away and I'm just going to show you so actually so you get a good look at it while I explain what's going on. So second part of this update wise, you'll see the, obviously in between now and part 2 of this update, I'm going to get the nose gear on, get the nose gear wheel on and the 2 main wheels on, and obviously I'm also going to sand. I've had to, and also in that update you'll see in part 2 you'll see the drop tanks. You'll see the drop tanks fully built, the drop tanks and the middle and the middle pylons for the AIM 120 AMRAAMs. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do between now and update 2. Obviously I don't know when I don't know when part 2 is when I'm actually going to be able to film. Well, I'm going to be filming update 2, but I should imagine it will be fairly quick. It'll be along fairly quickly after this part of the updates filmed, after part 1. So as I said in updates 1 and 2, obviously for me it'll be a few days. For me it'll be a few days before see you guys in a few seconds, right? See you on part 2. Hi guys, Ryan. Hi guys, Ryan here. Take 2 of part 2 for update 3. The reason I say take 2 is because the previous take, I was a little bit quiet. I was a little bit on the quiet side, shall we say? But also, let's just say, when I played back the footage, obviously, quite a few times my laptop, the for cooling fans, I was speeding quite a bit to the point that the noise was horrible, and also, and of course the only way I could get them to quiet is to flip the camera, flip the laptop upside down, and basically I would stop them overspeeding that way. But unfortunately, when I, having watched back the footage at that point, I realized what I didn't take into realize was obviously the camera was still rolling at that point. So, or you, so yeah, so yeah, that's why take two had to. This is why this is going to be take. This is why take two is happening. This is the second take. So, um, but yeah, just want to say, obviously, but I'll say it's the update to. This is part two of update three. Part two of update three on the airfix on my airfix 1/72 scale Eurofighter Typhoon out of the IS Centenary gift set. Um, the airfix sent me for free. Just want I also huge thank you to Emily Houghton and Adam from airfix this kit for free, although they've not paid me to say or do. Um, so update. So as you can see, as you can probably see, update wise, I've now got the so carrying on from where we left off in part one. Obviously, I've now got the main wheels on, which went on really well. Really happy with how they've gone together. Um, so really happy with how they've gone together, and really happy with how they've gone together. So yeah, how they I had no issues of wheels not. I've no issues as far as fitting the wheels are concerned. All the wheels, and I've since done since I've done. Obviously, this does sit on all its wheels, so I had put. So from that point of view, I've put enough nose weight in. Also, having looked at the wheels, all the wheels are straight and level, so none of them are. So the aircraft isn't listing to one side on them, isn't listing to either to isn't slightly off slightly is higher isn't basically all the wheels are level and all the wheels are straight and level in that they're not towing in left or right, they're not towing in or towing out horizontally or vertically, so to speak. But yeah, and obviously I've also painted since the last update. I've also since part last update since part one. I've also painted and base coated and painted the canopy framing, the base coat, the primed and base coated. So I primed the canopy framing, primed the primed the canopy framing in Humbrol 1 and Humbrol 33 matte black, and then top coated it in satin black, and then that's how we are at the moment. That's how the Typhoon's looking. Both sides. And also since up part one, I've also managed to get the drop tanks. I'll show you them individually. I've also managed to get the drop tanks done. So that's drop tank. I'm going to call this drop tank. This is drop tank. What drop tank? I'm going to call this just drop tank one. Drop tank number one, because obviously there's two of them, and I can only hold one at the moment. So yeah, that's drop tank number one. Again, drop tank. So test fitted it. Test fitted it, and to be honest, it the drop test fit the drop this test fit the drop tank, and then obviously because this was in two, because this was the drop tanks in half are in half, so tested fitted the two halves. There was a gap going through the middle, so I knew there was going to, so the fit issue from that, the fit from the drop tanks fitting wise weren't that great to start off with, and then when I actually glued the drop tanks together, there was a massive step pretty much running pretty much the whole length of the tank, so I had to fill it using Revell's Plastio Revell's Plastio filler, and then obviously I then filled it, and then sanded it and sanded it. So I filled it, and then I sanded the filler down to and get it to nice and smooth to how you see it at the moment, really. And then same, more or less same for drop tank number 2, which is this one. And then the only thing I've managed to do since part 2, part 1 rather, is obviously I've also assembled, as in I've also put together the middle pylons for the AIM 120 for two of the 6 AIM 120 AMRAAMs. So these are just pretty much glued together. These are pretty much test fitted. Happy with the test fit. Glued together, and I held these together in place using a couple of clothes pegs, a couple of pegs, and then obviously when these were dried, I then took off the clothes pegs. There was obviously, because of course the glue, I did get some overspill of the glue when I glued these together. When I glued these together, obviously some of the clothes pegs stuck to the glue, so that there was a couple of clothes, so that the closed pegs end up getting stuck to the glue, so that I did have to sand that out. So yeah, and then of course I just sanded down the glue. I sanded over the glue marks, and I just sanded down the glue marks, and that's how the pylons are looking as we speak. So that's pylon number 1, and then pretty much the same procedure but for pylon number 2. So I'll give you a good look at the pylon. And the reason I'm rotating it left that way and that way is because really you can only really, in terms of the actual pylon itself, there's only really 2 sides you can look at it, apart from the front and that side and that side. So I'll just give you another look at the other pylon. And then that side. And so let's just give you another look at the drop tank. From the front, from the rear. Just the other drop tank. So yeah, and then this is just the other. This is drop tank 1 again. So just giving you another look at drop tank 1. So that's drop tank 1 from the side, drop tank 1 from the other side. I'm just going to give you one last look at the typhoon. Basically, when you see update 4, so now just going to show you the typhoon, so you guys get a good look at the typhoon while I show you while I tell when so you guys will get to know when I'll most likely be doing update 4. So you won't see update 4 on the typhoon now until I've painted and glossed the airframe, the aircraft. So I've painted and glossed the aircraft, and probably, to be honest, until I've painted, glossed, and So I've painted and glossed the aircraft, and obviously the rest of the ordnance. So that will be the 6 AMRAAMs, the 6 AIM 120 AMRAAMs, and the 2 AIM 132 ASRAAMs, and obviously the pylons for the ASRAAMs and the pylons for the drop tanks. So yeah, but yeah, and then obviously, so and then of course, as for the typhoon, this is going to be having this as because of course because this is a a sort of a modernish RAF Royal Air Force aircraft. Obviously, this will have the the jet will be painted overall in what they call these days camouflage grey, which used to be known as air defence grey. So this will get air defence. This will be painted over. This will get painted over in air defence grey, pretty much top and bottom. And then obviously I've got there's areas just to break it up, really. Just to break it up really. There's areas of the jet that have also got to be painted in medium sea grey. So places. So for example, the leading edge flaps have got to be painted in medium sea grey, along with the front of the wingtip ECM pods, and the rear wingtip and the rear of the ECM pods on the wingtips. The leading edge of the vertical stabilizer is also going to have is also going to get medium sea grey painted onto it, as well as the top of the rudder. And there's another, and then of course the just before the actual the top of the vertical stabilizer, just ahead of the rudder on the vertical stabilizer, there's a bit of medium sea grey that gets painted on as well. And then of course the only other places that are going to receive medium sea grey are the leading edges of the canards, the nose cone, and of course the leading edges of the intake box, of the air intake box. So yeah, basically I won't. So update for that's the plan of action between now and update 4, which I've got no idea when that will be. I've got no idea. I've got no idea when update 4 will be. It probably will be in the new year. So I can't. So what I'm trying to say is, don't expect update 4 to be out this side of Christmas. Well, this side of Christmas, so to speak. So don't expect update 4 don't expect me to be getting update 4 out before Christmas, so to speak, because I won't be, even if I try to. Because this is obviously, even if I get it painted this side of Christmas, even if I get it fully painted this side of Christmas, I've still got to gloss it. And to be honest, with 3 gloss coats each side of the airframe, each top and bottom sides, top surface and underside surface of the airframe, I've got to give the gloss coat that I use it takes 24 hours to 40 hours to fully cure. so 24 to 40 hours to fully cure up. So yeah, just basically realistically, you guys are looking at the new year before update 4 comes. So I'm just going to give you one more look at the Typhoon before I put it down and sign off. Obviously, before I end the video, I just want to say a huge thank you to Emily and to Adam and Emily Houghton of Airfix and Hobby Hobbies, respectively, for sending me this kit for free. However, although they have not paid me what to say or do, I've also want to say a huge thank you to my godfather for getting in touch with Airfix for arranging all basically arranging all this in terms of getting in touch with Airfix for them to recognise my talent in order for them to send me this kit out for free. And finally, since you guys have probably noticed it on the hat on the top of my head, you guys have probably noticed I've got an old Crimbo hat on top of my head. I just want to say to you guys, I hope you guys have a I hope you. I just want to say to you guys, happy have a happy and have a very happy and very merry Christmas, and have a have a happy New Year. And I'll see you guys the next time you will see me now is in 2022. So yeah, that's all I've got for now. So I'll see you guys in 2022. All right, bye.